Hey there, we're at video 13. This video I would like to use to uh, apologize for my wrongs to myself and to those who I've wronged. I sold out at some point of my core values, uh, which contributed to the breakdown. I remember my teacher saying that if you want a decent job when I was at hair school, then like basically I had to like polish myself up. Uh, uh, I was a little bit more alternative, punky, you know, grungy, I guess at the time, and I was most the whole time, and that started an inkling in the back of my head to change who I am, to succeed. And I got to a salon I was at for quite a few years, and my boss told me more than once, basically, in a nice way, that act more gay, put on a show, you'll make more money, as if that's gonna change the work I do. But I did. I remember catching myself in the mirror and not even recognizing me anymore. I had so much self-hatred for having to be somebody I'm not to succeed. And it made me more and more depressed. And then the cocaine use eventually got back in there, and I think my work even suffered even more because you could tell that I wasn't comfortable being this person they're telling me to be, that for some reason I need to be. Those moral compromises changed a good part of me, took it away for a while, and like started a whole series of self-hatred. And then the boyfriend who's told me to not get, lose my looks or get skinny or fat at any point, that's when the eating disorder, I allowed the eating disorder in. So, and that just kind of, kept going. So a lot of like not liking myself. And now I'm building myself back up with those core values of not willing to compromise who I am for anything. That's why I declined to go back to my old job in the hair industry, because it's very vain, very shallow. Everything's about the way you look, and I just can't stand it. It's not me. And be around people like that, it's very uncomfortable for me, and that's just not what I wish to continue. I didn't know, I couldn't figure out about that's something I could handle for a long time, and I just realized, like I'm just gonna start the same behavior again. It's just gonna affect me the same way as it did the first time, and it's a and the people who own it, it's just about money. It's about money and success, and like granted, that's how a lot of people are in this world. But I don't want to chase what the world does. I don't want to love what the world does. I want to be my own person. I want to stay true to my values and get to where I want to be on my own. And I don't have to sell out to do it. And I don't have to be somebody I'm not to do it. So that's why I declined. Nothing's worth the money to morally compromise yourself. I'll tell you that right now. As for character defects, I've lied. I manipulated for years to get what I want because I'm a control freak, and because I had no control of the horrible things that happened to me, being control of everything in my life. Beyond that was a way to feel like I had control when I really didn't, because there's certain things in life you just can't control. And I control people, thoughts, actions, where we went, what we did, how we did it, because I didn't know really that I knew I was doing it, but I wasn't like know how like intensely I was doing it. And not that that's an excuse by any means. Sorry to anybody who's ever hung out with me in those years, because I don't know if you ever got a chance to do anything you wanted to do, because it was all about what I wanted to do. So I truly am sorry. Um, I really can't believe what a vain, shallow, narcissistic person I was at one point, you know. Um, Remember at one point I couldn't pass a mirror without looking at it, and ugh, I want to be that fucking guy. I I never really like. I broke a lot of hearts. I dated people I didn't want to date because I just didn't have the heart to tell them that I didn't like them. Honesty was hard, and I didn't want to hurt people. But like, I just did more damage by dating them when I didn't have any interest in dating them, and then trying to find a way to break up with them after the fact. When I could have just said, "I'm sorry, I'm not interested." That was terrifying for me to be like that honest with somebody, let alone hurt them like that. But then the breakup was a lot worse. So like I really just didn't think that through. I was very shy for a while, and it's not really in my comfort zone to be confrontational like that or like bring up how I feel. Like I never was taught how to do that. I dominated most conversations. I dominated most party, everything, social gatherings, groups. I had to be the life of the party. I had to make everything into a joke. I had to everyone laugh because that was the way I dealt with my trauma and the horrible things. And when everyone's laughing, it makes you feel good. And it's like, but inside you're dying, but at the time it feels good. Nobody knew that, me being the life of the party, what was happening on the inside, because I never opened up enough for anyone to ever see or know that. I was good at acting like everything was okay. I was on top of it, my game, on top of everything in my life. It's all keeping up appearances, bullshit. I I don't know. I cut people out. I feel bad for cutting people out that were good people, people I could love, people I could be friends with, and just because it was too good for me. I needed that pain. I needed to be surrounded by people who hurt me. I needed to be surrounded by people that didn't bring up my drinking or my partying. I needed to be around the darkness of the nightclub every damn night. I needed to be around that because it was part of my cycle. I didn't know that at the time, but anyone really good, anyone with a good heart, I kind of pushed back. And I feel like at some point I need to surround myself with those people to make myself look better by comparison. I always had to have the upper hand in everything just because I had such low self esteem. I had to have the upper hand in the relationship. I had to be the one that looked better. I had to be the one that had a job. I had to be the one to take care of them. I had to be the fully functional one. I had to be everything just to make myself feel better. And I was just so insecure that I couldn't handle somebody that was more put together than me, more stable than me. Just made me feel bad about myself. Funny how that works. I remember screwing over a girl I went to grade 8 with. Like nobody was my friend. I got teased all the time, and then she came and the same thing happened to her, and she was my only friend, and I was her only friend. Her name was Tara Dawson. That's my dad's last name, and everyone thought we were related, but we weren't. And I remember the the cool kids offered me an olive branch if I turned on her, and I did. And I never forgot that. It's a fucking horrible thing to do to somebody. And wherever she is, I hope she would forgive me. Not that I deserve it. Everything became about status at one point. It became about who you knew, who you rolled with, all the wrong things yet again. And all you do is end up hurting anybody really genuine that gets close to you when you're like that. You create this perfect atmosphere and environment for all the wrong things, all the poisonous things, all the stuff that will tear you down and destroy your life. Take you there, take you to hell pretty damn fast. But you're just having a good time and you're in control. And all these things we tell ourselves. People, don't understand that addiction takes years to condition yourself to get there. It doesn't happen overnight. Nobody chooses to be addicted. Nobody chooses that life. It starts, usually with one thing, and then you make a compromise for another thing. And for me, it started with having a couple drinks, and then smoking some weed, and then like my grandfather died, one pill of ecstasy, and then that led to cocaine, and then so on and so on and so on. As your self-esteem goes down and your depression goes up, because all that stuff causes severe depression and all mood swings, and then you use more to feel better, and then you can only feel better when you do it, and then you rely on it, and then you realize, fuck, I can't feel good without it. It's like, oh, you know let's drink to numb the pain, and let's drink till we can't feel feelings anymore. We used to say that on the weekends. uh Fucking true. It's funny. And then it's like, let's drink because it's a Tuesday. Let's drink because I had a bad day. Let's drink because I have a good day. Let's drink because we have no reason to drink. And you use it as a thing to deal with your feelings for everything. And then you never deal with your feelings for anything. It fucks you up for the rest of your life. And then, like, 10, 15 years down the line, you realize that, fuck, you have an addiction. By the time you realize that you have an addiction problem, it's too late. You're so far in, you're like, you can't just stop. That's self-realization. Is like, shit, what do I do now? There is no walking away. There's no just going cold turkey for most people anyways. Then it's about fucking, becomes very quickly about fucking survival. About, next thing you know, a couple wrong choices, when you get too far in, you can be homeless like that. You can be doing prostituting to get your next fix. I've done it. All I had was my gay currency, and I've always been under the poverty line, so I did what I didn't like getting stuff for free, so I'd usually put out for it. Did some fucking things I really wish I could forget. Really. And I'm sorry to everyone for the nights I can't remember. I'm super fucking sorry for the nights I can. I'm sorry if I ever lied or manipulated or used to get what I needed or wanted. I'm sorry if I never took your feelings into account. I just treated you like an object, like I used and go. I don't even. I don't remember. My memory's gappy, so I can't remember a lot of details. All I know is I'm sorry for everything that I've done. I will be judged. I don't. I ask for forgiveness every day, but I don't think I deserve it. I want to rebuild, stay true to my values so they'll never happen again. I want to rebuild and stay true to my values so I can be the man I was meant to be. I can affect lives in a positive way. That I can use what God's given me to make this world a better place. Even if it's just one small random act of kindness at a time. I don't want to be obsessed with money. I don't want to be chasing houses and cars and all that stuff that doesn't matter. And I've literally lived that way once, and you're never truly happy. Spiritual enlightenment makes people 100% happy. Chasing corporate America, capitalism destroys people. People are never satisfied. People work themselves to death. They never enjoy life because they're always trying to get that next big thing they think's gonna make them feel better or give them social status. Granted, there is a small percentage, I'm sure, that are just generally happy with that, and that's all they want. But for most of us, not be the case. I'm sorry to my husband for all the darkness and horribleness of addiction that brought into his life and destroyed our relationship. I'm sorry, the same with every good friend I've ever had. I am sorry that I, I let addiction destroy my ties with certain family members. And I'm sorry I ever lied to get money or said it was for one thing I really needed when it was really just my next fix or my next drink, whatever have you. I don't remember the details exactly, but I know that they happened. I'm sorry to everyone. I was not a stand-up guy. I did shitty fucking things. I hope that this makes up for some of it, even though realistically nobody needs to forgive me. I need to forgive myself. That was a whole person ago. I'm not that person anymore. I worked really hard to come back, and my biggest thing is just not turn back into that person. So, yeah. I'm flawed. So flawed. So many flaws. So many mistakes. So many bad choices. Just so many. I wish I could take them back, but I can't. But I can move forward and make sure they never happen again. And I hope that's enough. So never sell out. Stay true to who you are. Always love yourself, every part of yourself. Own up to your mistakes. Forgive yourself and move on. And just forgive yourself. Because nobody's perfect. That's all for today.